Well, welcome to Valkyrie's Fire. Welcome to the Citadel for Metal Fellowship. And this band is absolutely hot. I mean, it's fire. You got to expect that. And it looks like we've got everyone here, which rarely happens, but it makes such a wonderful conversation when you have all these
We
minds.
we are missing one person now. We're missing Salem, our keyboardist and cellist. She wasn't feeling well.
I was going to ask you, is she coming? Because she's welcome to come. We've had people come in later, and so yeah, tell her if she
But
wants to join in later.
we're we're
But
feeling her spiritual presence.
all right, so they've already sort of started here. These guys are from the rockin' city of Nashville, home of the Grand Ole Opera, or I should say Opry, the home of
Sounds so fancy like that.
yeah,
I
yeah.
like opera.
Um, home of the Nashville Predators. You see the jersey here. Not a fan, but for today, we're going to celebrate them. But yeah, you guys know what Nashville is. It is the home of country music, and there's more than just country. There's so
I'm
many.
here with the horses.
All right, yeah, home of the horses. But they're going to uh, talk about that and talk about their wonderful new album. And yeah, that's what I should be concentrating on. Out of the Darkness, it was released in September,
Will be released. Yeah.
or will be, I should say, will be released September 18th, 2026. My birthday's in September, so I already feel like
Happy
it's here.
birthday.
And
That's why we
that,
released it then because we knew.
you knew it was me. You're
Happy
awesome.
birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. It's not yet. It's coming.
I know.
All right, but let's go around the room and everybody introduce themselves. And it's best if we start ladies first.
I am Betty. I'm one of the vocalists of Valkyrie's Fire.
I'm Dave. I am the founder and bassist for Valkyrie's Fire.
Got to have him in there for sure. He's the founder. Go ahead.
Go for it, Adam.
Okay. My name is Adam. I am also one of the singers, and I also do a good bit of music and lyric writing for Valkyrie's Fire.
I'm
And
Ryan.
I'm Joey.
I play the drums.
Go for it, Ryan.
Now he's going to
Joey.
fight for it. Yeah, he's been talking quite a bit. And then all of a sudden he stopped. And
We already know who you are, Joey. Gosh.
all right, go ahead.
All right, I'm Joey Grimaldi. I am the guitarist, and I do a lot of production, and I write a lot of music as well.
And he's a horse whisperer, right?
Yes, exactly. Well, at least my wife is.
All right.
I'm Ryan. I play the drums. I make some jokes. I do some singing. A little bit of this and that.
All right. So I'll tell you what, we'll probably focus this one on Dave. But tell us how the band began. How did you meet all these wonderful people? And how did you pull them all together and say, let's do something creative, let's do something symphonic, let's play some metal.
Well, obviously, I wasn't in a country music bar looking, but in Nashville, obviously, sometimes it can be a daunting thing to find the right musicians, simply because there's such a large number of musicians in general in and around the Nashville area. And trying to narrow down that search, obviously, is a pretty daunting task. So I started the process of designing the logo, designing the band name and social media accounts and website and all that stuff back in 2020, and started looking for the band members then, and used a platform called Bandmix. And that's actually where I found the majority of them. And I found Adam first in 21. And then
Yeah, we're coming up on the 5-year anniversary of
yeah,
Labor Day
yeah,
weekend.
believe that.
Yeah.
And then after that, we began the search really for the rest of them. He had showed me some of his composition work and things he's been working on, and was really impressed. And so together, Adam and I really just began the search at that point for the rest of the band members to kind of complete, what we wanted to do. And we found Ryan next, and it took a little, convincing, I guess, for him to answer his messages. But I guess about 6 months later, he finally did, and had lunch with him, and he was definitely on board immediately then at that point. And took us quite a bit longer to find Joey, and then finally Betty as well too. And that happened around July, August of 23, so right around 3 years ago. And we found Joey through a recurring guitar showcase here in Nashville. It was called Guitar Night, and Ryan and I would frequent it pretty often, almost every single time, honestly. And we got to know a lot of the guitar players there, and really were
I
watching.
wondered who the hell are these two guys? Why are they hanging around if they don't even play?
Yeah, we were creeping on Joey a lot, and kept bothering him. And finally we just asked him, to join the band, and he agreed. And then reached out to Betty, and same on band mix as well too. Joey really was the one of the few that we didn't actually find on band mix. We found
I
on
don't
local.
have a profile on there.
Yeah. But yeah, I found Betty on band mix, and then she didn't have much of a profile, but I reached out to her and saw some of her Instagram stuff, and was really impressed, with her vocals, and really thought it would be a great match, with Adams as well too, and which obviously they complement each other very well. And we all made sure that that was going to work for the band, and we invited her, and surprisingly, she said yes. And she obviously didn't know much about us, and so it was a process, just hoping that all of these things would fall together, and they did. And then we met Salem about a year ago, year and a half ago, something like that. And we were looking for a keyboardist, and watched a performance that she did on cello actually, and then saw some of her other stuff on keyboards. And Joey was really impressed as well too, and because he was really particular about who we were going to have as a keyboardist. So that ended up working out good, and yeah, we finally completed the lineup. So it's been a little bit of a journey, but honestly, it's been a very rewarding journey. Because we have really some of the best people and musicians, honestly,
Oh yeah.
in the metal scene in Nashville, and it's something we're very proud of, and something we get high compliments on quite a bit here in this area locally, particularly. So something I'm very proud of.
All right, we're going to go around the room, and be careful of this question because everyone seems to miss it. What are your influences? And what I mean by that is you are influencing younger people that are maybe, yeah, I want to be in a metal band. I want to play music like that. I want to sing like that, or I want to drum like that, or whatever. And so you are having that influence, whether you know it or not. You definitely are. But who influenced you? Who was it that's you saw that band or you listened to them? You said, I'm not going to be a civic engineer. I'm going to be a bassist. I'm going to be a lead singer. I'm going to whatever. So we'll go around the horn, however, whoever wants to jump in first, and let's find out who influenced you guys.
Why don't you lead the charge, Betty?
I was about to until you spoke. I have a lot of influences, but I think the one that inspired me the most to sing, because it was just something I had never heard of before, was Tarja and Nightwish.
Yeah.
Specifically the album Bless the Child. That was the first one I ever bought. And I had heard before them, I was a fan of Evanescence. I really liked their gothic vibe and sound. And I was into opera and musical theater. I always loved listening to singing and 80s rock like Heart and Pat Benatar. Loved them too. But when I first heard the operatic vocals with metal, that's what made it click inside me. That was like, I love that. That's like the best thing I've ever heard in my life. And that's what I want to do. I want to sing that. And I was like, I would, I had no idea how hard it would be to get into that, especially living in the old state of Georgia. But yeah, Tarja Turunen from Nightwish is my biggest inspiration.
What part of Georgia?
Macon, Georgia, right smack dab in the middle.
Making the bacon. Yeah, it's beautiful. I used to date a lady from B-52's country, Athens. And
Um,
yeah, we saw them many times and UGA, all that stuff. And I was a Gator at that time and going to the University of Florida. And so we had that rivalry going. But yeah, Macon is beautiful. I
and
gotta
it's
ask you, do you have these two? Do you have the new evidence? I can't talk. Evanescence and Target. They are excellent, both of them. You
yes.
got them both. What do you think? I want to hear what you think. I tell everybody.
What I think of like their new stuff, or
Yeah.
I haven't heard all of Evanescence's newest album. I know that it's a crime, but from what I've heard of theirs, I really like it. But Tarya's latest album, I'm in love with it. Like the piano work, the vocals, this epic, beautiful artistry of an album. It's wonderful. I love it.
What's your favorite song?
Oh my gosh.
The sea. The sea.
I feel like it might be at sea. Um,
It's,
I mean,
oh
I
my
had to
God.
compliment the piano work, and the piano work in that song is immaculately beautiful. Oh,
Oh
it's
my
just so
God.
good.
It took me back to Charlie Chaplin. And I know
It did, didn't it?
a lot of people don't realize the guy used to play the piano in back of his movies. He would create the songs, all that stuff. And it just that interlude in the middle, oh my God, it is incredible. But I do think that Evanescence right now is number one. And you got to listen to the whole album. Tarja, excellent, but there's some Evanescence, there is not a mistake. There is not, and there's no letdown. I don't. I mean, we still have a couple more coming out. We got Xandria, we got a
Mhm.
warning, but I don't know who's going to top. Amy is absolutely back. She is that album. Please give it a listen. It is a beauty.
I
Okay.
need to.
And no, go ahead. Anything else you want to say? And otherwise, we'll.
We can scoot on to somebody else.
Okay. But yeah, definitely a great. Both of them great albums.
Suppose I'll go next. Oh, it was
Yeah,
odd for me
be a
because
volunteer. You're from Cleveland.
yeah,
No,
it's
I
kind of
have
odd
great
considering
expectations for you.
any.
I'm sorry. I'm kidding.
It's okay. Because there was never one singular moment where I decided like, oh, I'm going to be a singer. It was just sort of a process, and I could keep going on. All the singers I was influenced by. There's Daniel Heyman of Lost Horizon, both ZP Thart and Mark Hudson of Dragon Force, Timo Kotipelto of Stradivarius, and Jeff Tate. The list goes on and on and on.
Jeff Tate. Yeah, there is a good one.
But for the closest thing I had to one singular moment, um, I'm a long time fan of Avantasia. Tobias Salmon
Oh
is one of
yeah.
my favorite songwriters, one of my favorite singers too. Um, and for a number of years, I'd sort of been toying because I used to want to be a band director, like a actual conducting, and that's a lot of what I did in undergrad. And I played bass trombone and euphonium in band and orchestra. And there was a period after I graduated from college that I was sort of weighing my options because I hadn't found work yet. I didn't know where I was going to land next geographically. Um, and one of the options, of course, I was always nagging in the back of my head because I had always listened to power metal, to symphonic metal, and all this stuff. there was always a voice in the back of my head going like, dude, you should just become a singer. You should just become a songwriter and write this stuff. Um, but the closest thing, and I didn't know it when it happened. It wasn't until, and this is a whole nother story, but someone else actually had to point it out for me as I was talking about it. I had the opportunity to go to Wacken Open Air in 2017,
Oh yeah.
and saw Avantasia perform there. That was my first time seeing them. Um, and I was on cloud nine that whole show. I sang almost every single word. They played songs that on that set that I had no idea that they were going to play live. Like "Runaway Train" was the song that got me into them, and they played that one, which was a total surprise because it's one of their deeper cuts.
Yeah. Oh,
And I distinctly remember after the set, a bunch of people around me. I was there alone, so I was around a bunch of strangers, and a lot of people were singing the chorus of the Seven Angels, the "We are the seven judgments of heaven," and I was sort of singing along with them. I had no idea who they were. Like we didn't even bother to introduce ourselves, but I'm like trudging through the mud to get all the way back to the bus to take me back to the train
it
station
does
30
rain there
minutes
sometimes.
away, to then take the train all the way back to the hostel I was staying at in Hamburg. Um, and there was something psychologically that shifted in me that night. Again, I didn't know this until a couple weeks later when someone else had to directly state it for me. That was sort of the moment where, like, all right, no, this is. I need to become a power metal vocalist. I need to become a songwriter in this style. This is what it's going to be.
And it's great that this band has that um, the combination of a male and a female singer. And I interviewed Visions of Atlantis a while back, and they have a fantastic relationship. The way they bounce off of each other, and the way you guys do the same thing is fantastic. I look forward to even get better as time goes by. How does it feel? We'll get it. I know the rest of you guys are like chomping at the bit, but I gotta ask them because I was going to ask that question anyway. Since I've got both of them back to back here, how do you feel working together? How do you feel? I mean, I'm sure you like it, but you're not going to say anything bad. But how do you like how do you balance so that both of you have enough time? And go ahead. Let's just see what happens. Sometimes you ask too many questions and you don't get the answers you want. So go ahead.
That's something you really have to think about. We just sort of sing and do our thing.
But
And
how
then, of
do
course, like
you
the one thing
plan
we
it?
do have to be, semi-conscious of is when we're in the writing process, make sure that
Yeah.
there's mostly equal distribution of, Betty has her solo bits, I have my solo bits. There are moments where we sing in harmony together, and so on and so forth. That's really the only thing we really have to be intentional about. But otherwise, it's like, we don't have to think about too hard about, oh, like how are we going to blend or how are we going to balance each other's timbre. It just does.
It kind of comes together pretty easily so far. I think, I mean, if there were any kinks, they were small ones that were easily to work around. But yeah, we typically, yeah, just write balanced, equal amounts of singing parts for each of us, and then create harmonies to go with each other if we need to create a harmony. We feel like it needs a little something else. Yeah, it's pretty easy.
And and Dave, thanks for looking for a female vocalist because at one time they didn't. And I grew up with Zeppelin, Genesis, all these other guys, and all male at vocals. And most, I mean, yeah, I loved Heart. I'm from Seattle. I mean, basically, I mean, I used to live in Cleveland, but that was 18 years ago. And to me, I've pretty much become a Seattleite. And so I call myself a Seattleite at times. But anyway, yeah, I grew up with Heart and loved Heart, absolutely loved Heart. But you didn't, and Joan Jett and all these people, but you really didn't have that many. And so, I mean, most of my CD collection is male, but um, it's nice to hear a woman's voice. And I'm telling not only nice, but it sounds great and it balances things out. And thank God you we're smart enough to know to do that. There's so many bands that are going one way or another. It's either a woman or it's a man, and the combination is so important. And I don't know why more bands don't do it. But thank
Uh, yeah, absolutely.
The singers are egotistical.
They do butt heads. They are divas at
yeah,
heart.
that like yourself, I guess I'll go right into my inspirations as
Go
well.
ahead.
Like yourself, Hart was one of my big inspirations as well
Yeah.
too. I grew up during, the late 80s and 90s when, they were very popular, around 87, 88, as far as mainstream music goes. And I love just that whole rocking edge, and the sound that they created. And then later further on, beyond the hair metal and metal that I experienced, from bands like Megadeth, Metallica, and Exodus, and Slayer, and things like that. One of the things that really blew me away was in 2005, Nightwish was on a soundtrack, or one of their songs was on soundtrack for a German B-rated movie that was released
Oh
in
wow.
or produced by a German producer. And the film was decent, but and it was called Alone in the Dark. And at the end of it, I actually watched the whole thing through, and at the end of it, I was
They gave you
shocked
credits. Yeah.
actually to hear "I Wish I Had an Angel" by Nightwish, and from their album Once, and it just absolutely blew my mind. The combination of the male and female vocals in there, along with the power and the symphonic parts put into it. That's what really caught me, and it really, really spoke to me. I think that was kind of my, life-changing moment when it came to music. And one day I was thinking to myself, I was like, man, I really, really would love to have that, And Marco is a big inspiration to me as far as a bassist goes, but also that
Mhm.
dynamic of the male and female vocals was really, really pleasing to me. And so, fast forward to the search for the band members in our band, and really that was something that I, wanted from the beginning. I talked to Adam about that originally when I met him as well too. And so it's definitely a dynamic that is very captivating. It's very emotional. It's very powerful, and both in the recordings as well as in the live environment. And definitely something that our fans greatly appreciate. And it's been a staple for sure in our music.
And it gives you more stories to tell, so definitely, no, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. It gives a very naturally operatic quality to the music with the having it kind of go back and forth between the two all the time.
Well, Joey, since you started, go ahead.
Let's see.
It's your turn.
I would say probably my biggest influence starting out was probably Metallica. Uh, I heard them when I was 12, and I was a big fan from that point going forward. And then pretty much a large tour of that whole variety of metal I went on at that point. And then I mean classical music, so I'm a huge fan of J.S. Bach is one of my favorite composers, but really a ton of others. Beethoven, Dvorak. I'm a big fan of Tchaikovsky. Not as much of the super modern ones, but those are probably my
You
two
disappoint me, Joey.
main sort of genres that I drop. What was that?
You
What'd
disappoint
you
me,
say?
Joey.
I know, I know.
For
I'm not as
context,
much
I
on.
studied composition. That was my degree, and I love a lot of the modern and what you might call the weird shit, which I hate that people call it that, but I love it.
I
Keep going,
like I
Joey.
like a few of them, but there's some that to me, kind of lose sight of the lose sight of the nice sounding melodies.
That was the other name I couldn't remember, Frank Zappa. And that's some of the weird shit. Not a big fan, but
Oh yeah.
I definitely understand his contribution. I am not lowering it at all. I think he definitely contributed a lot to music. But
Like I agree with that. And, sometimes I'll listen to Frank Zappa music, and I am entertained by it, but it kind of also sometimes leaves me feeling a little bit strange at the end of it.
it's just too much noodling. I mean, there's enough noodling in
Yeah,
Prague, and then you add that to it, and 3 hours,
exactly.
3 hours
I
of
mean, although you mentioned Prague, I must say that's a huge influence. I mean, especially like let's say Dream Theater, Symphony X is another band that I really love. Meshuggah, a lot of the metalcore stuff. I'm probably a little more influenced by maybe standard metal than I am by the symphonic metal style
okay.
than my cohorts here.
All right, Ryan, we didn't forget you.
Hey, you saved the best for last. I get it.
There you go.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Ryan's my buddy in making things sound nice and proggy.
Yeah,
Fun to sing
my
too.
influences are all over the place. As a child, I always wanted to be a drummer, and I didn't really get exposed to music outside of what was on the radio. And my mom liked Aerosmith, so I didn't develop my own taste until I was a little bit older, probably in middle school, high school. I had about a year where I listened to nothing but Christian ska, which was
Oh, wow.
kind of fun. Five Iron Frenzy was good stuff. I went right from that into Coheed and Cambria, which was insane, and Avenged Sevenfold and Dream Theater all at the same time. So
Wow.
the drummers that made me want to play drums outside of concert band. I was a concert percussionist. I was a symphony percussionist. I taught marching band drums. Wrote that
Good.
kind of music. Then I started hearing like the Rev and Mike Portnoy. Dream Theater quickly became one of my favorite bands of all time. Probably my favorite band of all time. I think whenever you hear my playing on our album, you'll hear Mike Portnoy in there a lot.
Yeah.
But hearing how they approach drums with intensity, but also musicality, that's what made me want to be a drummer that supports the music. Made me want to get on stage and make everything sound better in whatever way I could, not to stand out, to make the music stand out. I was a late bloomer to concerts, but I think I was 20 or 21 when I finally got to go see Dream Theater live. I've been to a few concerts before then, but that was the first time I'd ever gotten emotional just hearing chords envelop me. Like, oh, this is what I need to do. To this day, when I listen to Octavarium, in any context, headphones in on a TV, whatever, you get to that outro. Oh my gosh, I lose it. I was sitting in the living room yesterday, and my daughter says, "Are you crying, Daddy?" I'm like, "Yeah, but it's a good thing."
He was
Yeah,
listening
that's,
to he was listening to Pull Me Under.
oh yeah,
That's the
yeah,
one.
yeah. Go ahead, Dave. What?
That's the one song I know from that album.
That's the one that made the top 40. That their greatest hits is a
Drumming.
little tongue in cheek. It's called the greatest hit and other great songs as well,
Right,
something like
yeah.
that.
There you go.
Oh my God, what a song. What a drum song. I mean, it's probably one of the best. Who's your favorite drummer? Is it Mike?
Mike Portnoy for sure. Yeah, yeah.
All right,
I don't even think he's the best drummer. Like I think technically speaking, he's probably like high mid tier, right? Like he does the same things over and over again, but he puts them in exactly the right place. And his interpretations of time signatures, I think, are really important to note. He doesn't need to get like overly complex,
You
and
got
it
to get a
always
bigger
just.
drum set, Ryan.
I've got 7 toms and rototoms already. You're probably right.
Yeah.
for
There's not
me,
even a gong behind you.
You got to double that. You need 14, Ryan.
You gotta get an entire 5-octave marimba too.
Yeah.
there you go. For me,
And
it's
you got to carry it all in by yourself.
Yeah.
for me of those that are alive. I mean, Bonham is by far the best ever, but it's Danny Carey from Tool. Holy moly!
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
just I don't that last album. I don't know how he came up with some of that, and
I
seeing it
I
live.
agree. Actually, he's one of my favorite drummers. Though I mean, I'm not a drummer, but I greatly love the drums, and he's one of my all-time favorites as well.
I don't like I don't care for Tool, to be honest. And listening
Huh?
to Tool I always thought the drum
These
part just
idiots
sounded like
don't like Tool
percussion.
very much, so they always say blah blah blah. But they don't know what
Blah
they're
blah
talking
blah.
about.
Uh, I
And
always
I'm
thought
not
the drum
much
I think
part.
we
into the
Blah,
do.
blah.
I'm not much into the older stuff,
Ah,
but that last album, absolutely, it was my album of the year. But that one, just I have it right here. That one was. Let me see here. Oh yeah, I went all out and got the this edition, which is the one that opens up. It doesn't work anymore, but it had a little video. I don't know.
Oh, nice.
Cool.
Oh, it
That's
was.
cool.
Yeah, no, it doesn't work anymore. I don't. I probably have to put batteries in. But oh my God, that album is.
They
I
are
just.
masters of having good merch and different versions of things, and having like all sorts of different items that you could get related to the band. I mean, I don't know of anybody else that really has quite the variety in that particular space of items that you could get.
We're getting there. We're trying to get there. That's our
You,
goal.
do they got booty shorts though?
And I'm wearing
I think
this
they do.
shirt, but I'm wearing this shirt, but I want to wear one of yours. So, do you have merch like that available?
Yeah, we have quite a few pieces of merch. We have everything from girls' yoga pants to tank tops and regular T-shirts and posters, buttons, all kinds of stuff. We've got them all on our website, and then of course we take a large variety of merch to our shows as well too. We're
We're
obviously
we're
personally.
working on having videos on our actual CDs.
There you go.
Oh,
Theoretically,
cool.
no, I'm only kidding.
Actual
Yeah.
flames that come out when you open the book.
Yeah,
I
That
thought
would
you
be
meant
pretty
like a
cool.
Blu-ray
Dangerous.
accompanying
Pop-up
Blu-ray.
book.
That's
Pop-up
pretty
book in
popular.
like real life.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
expensive, but it would be popular.
Oh yeah.
All right. So since you mentioned shows, what you obviously are going to probably have a album release show, and then tell us about your tours. Who are you going to be, or how many dates, or probably in Nashville. You could be on there every weekend, right? There's always music going on, right?
Yeah, there's quite a bit of music going on. Sometimes playing shows in Nashville can be a little bit more difficult just simply because of the large variety of bands that are out there. So obviously you don't want to oversaturate your own home market either,
That's true.
part of, marketing, obviously. Just not the wisest thing to do, but we are going to be working on getting together a album release show. It's we're already trying to do some of the planning and execution of that to get it finalized. But it may not be exactly on the day of the release because on the day of the release, we actually just accepted to play at a show here in Nashville at Hit Parader, and it's to benefit suicide awareness. And
Oh,
so
wonderful.
obviously that's a very important thing to musicians and fans alike. And so obviously if we're not going to be playing a album release show on the day of our actual release for the album, certainly playing a show like that is certainly a hugely monumental and important thing that we can set aside a little bit of our own glory, I guess you would say, for something that beneficial. So it's certainly something that we're honored to be a part of. And but we do have quite a few other shows as well coming up. We're going to be playing, still finalizing a few other things, but one of the biggest things that we do have coming up this year is Viking Fest
Oh,
on November 13th and 14th, and that's in northern Missouri. And then we also will be back here in Nashville a week before Christmas on the 18th. We're playing at the Cobra, playing a show there. And, we might have a few Christmas surprises up our sleeves for you
all
for that.
right.
Like Santa.
Yeah. So,
But only for those that are nice, right? Yeah.
yeah,
Kidding. Not for the naughty. No.
we got
Uh,
quite a few things we're already planning for next year, as far as tour planning and festivals and things like that already too. So we'll be releasing that information probably as we go later into the year.
all right. And will you play the entire album from start to finish? because that it's so much fun for the listeners. It's tough on the band, but it is when you're you just bought the album, let's say, and oh my God, they played the whole thing front to back.
At
It
72 minutes, obviously, that's a
is
whopping.
long.
And on a local level, um, usually don't get that kind of time to be able to play, like let's just say a 90-minute set, for instance, to be able to play a full album in its entirety. However, given the opportunity to do so, I'm sure we would absolutely love to do that. I know we've briefly talked about that, in our, future plans, but given the opportunity to do that, at a major festival or tour lineup type of thing. We
Yeah.
definitely would love to do that. For right now, yeah, we're just kind of intermixing some of the new stuff from the album along with some of our older tracks from our EP Ascension as well.
All right. And your last album was very good too. Yeah. That's it. Ascension. Yeah.
Thank you.
Let me ask you this. This just kind of came to me as I was putting everything together. Um, would you be interested in collaborating with some fairly not local, but USA metal bands? Because there's a few that would like to, you know, I talk to them all the time, and it'd be so nice to get all of you guys together. But you may not like that. I mean, are you guys into collaborating and all that way? And you'd be sharing the stage. I mean, you'd have to, have enough time for each group. But are you into that or?
Oh
I
yeah,
would say
Yeah.
we
yes.
do similar
Oh,
things
yeah.
here in Nashville already.
All right, and would you be willing? Because all right, let me tell you the two bands that I'm talking about, and they're interested. I already talked to Amy from Eden on Fire from Pennsylvania, and by the way, she was cheering for you guys in that whacking
Yeah,
competition. They were in the whacking
Yeah.
competition too, and they were hoping to meet you guys for the finals, but yeah, maybe next year. But anyway,
Good luck next year.
yeah. But them and possibly Inaria from the Boston Northeast
Oh,
area.
I love them. I love Anaria.
Well, there
yeah.
you go.
Both.
Yes, and I've actually not much, but I have spoken slightly with Jessica, the
Lead
vocalist.
singer. Yeah.
Yeah, sweet lady, very sweet lady.
Well, there you go. Gotta
I'm,
be.
I'm picturing like the We Are the World from the
No, no, no,
from
no.
the 80s with all the
No, no.
rocking
Our
the
own.
headphones together.
No, no. Like our
No.
own little whacking. It's not whacking, but I mean your own little.
Yeah.
Somewhere to meet in between all that.
I'm
But you guys
Eden
would be up for it,
from the
Yeah.
Northeast, correct?
huh?
Eden on Fire is also in the Northeast United States. Is that correct?
Pennsylvania, yeah, and then the other guys are way up north. They started in Boston. I can't remember if it's New Hampshire or if they're all the way up in Maine. But
Yeah, sure now. An area is, and that's where Jessica and Sergio live. Yeah.
yeah,
And I've been friends with them for quite a while as well too. And I've talked with them several times about trying to get something together. So definitely, and I've seen Amy's work as well too with Eden on Fire and both of those bands. Yeah, I think it would be great. We did a Northeast tour and up into Canada this year, and that was very successful. We had a really good, turnout, and the people loved us. It was very exciting. We actually had a great time, honestly, and so. We definitely want to revisit the Northeast again in 2027. So, yeah, I'd be very interested in speaking with both Amy and Jessica and working on,
Yep.
for the three of our bands to actually get up there and do a Northeast tour together in collaboration. That'd be awesome.
The
oh,
Northeast is my home territory.
no, all right,
I
yeah.
actually live in Pennsylvania again currently.
Well,
I know
there you
Ryan
go.
actually is currently there now.
Yeah.
I'll throw one more in there. Voice of Glass from Vegas actually reached out to me and said, "Hey, is there anyone else that you would suggest touring, and check them out. They're very good, husband and wife team.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And who doesn't want to go to Vegas? I mean,
I've
either
been
that
once.
or,
It was
find somewhere, like you said, Missouri, somewhere in between where everyone can meet. But yeah, who doesn't want to go to Vegas?
I want
I
to
was
get
just
out.
The
saying I've been
band's
to a lot of
funds
singers.
mysteriously disappeared.
What funds?
Either that or we
So
come back home in
this
a really nice bus.
Yeah, right.
And we're
Yeah,
all
you
married to
win it all.
somebody.
Yeah.
Jackpot
So what
hit.
happens there, yeah.
But yeah, we would love to get out to the West Coast as well too. I know Element of Fate is another band out
Oh,
there that we want to meet up with out there. So Edge of Paradise is obviously another band that's out on the West Coast. We
there
would
you
love to
go. I
play with them. We have spoken with Margarita a couple times about that, so hopefully we
have
can work.
interviewed her. She's wonderful. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. That
Um,
would be their star is really rising. So yeah.
yes, very much so.
I think
And
they're over in Europe right now, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, that would be great. Any of those bands, if we could get all of you together and do, okay, we'll call it We Are the World, whatever you want to call it. But if we could get all of you guys together, that would just be one hell of a show.
oh yeah, big symphonic or power metal or epic metal, I guess whatever you want to call it. Huge festival
Yeah.
again would be really cool in the United States. But
It's
uh,
funny, it's been tricky for me when we have done this a lot because we use like an in-ear sort of system, and a lot of other bands use it these days, and it becomes sometimes almost more difficult to like get just like one or you have it so set up for yourself and your own band's needs that it can be sometimes difficult to get like just one or two other people hooked up to the system in like the sort of chaos of the live environments that you're in.
Well, I would
It
think
makes it a little maybe slightly less inflexible than just giving some guy an amp and just plugging it in or giving another microphone if that makes sense.
I would think a promoter would jump at this, although I'm not a promoter and I, don't know how that industry works completely. But I mean, you have these bands that are willing to get together. They're maybe willing to drive these miles or fly or however. Put it together. I mean, make it palpable, make it interesting to them enough that you can get them all together and they're all bands ready to go and great albums, great music. It just doesn't make sense why it can't happen, and I hope it does.
yeah, for sure.
Jumping off, I mean, staying with that sort of idea, how do you like working with Eclipse? I've heard so many good things about them. That's their label, and what they're doing for a lot of bands is just giving them that shot in the arm that they needed. But how do you guys feel?
I mean, they've been like so good to work with on a personal level. Chris Poland, the CEO, is transparent. He's honest. He tells you how things are, and I think so far things have turned out to be the way he said they were going to be, pretty much across the board. I personally have had a great experience.
And they don't, put a lot of pressure on you. Like you hear all the stories of all these bands where, Led Zeppelin and, you're going to do that show. And of course, Pink Floyd, you're going to take a shot to make sure you can get up on that stage. You don't have that kind of pressure on you, I hope. And they don't make, hopefully, they're not making decisions on creative.
No, that's
No, I've never heard anything come back from them out of any of the music that we make. So I don't know if that means that we're doing it well or
He hasn't heard anything. That's not good either.
yeah. No, we've heard.
he just says it's great and then moves on.
All right.
Yeah, we work really well with Chris. We still maintain the rights to all of our music as well too, and that was hugely important to us.
That's
And
good.
so Chris works with us in making sure that all of our music gets distributed in a timely manner. So there are obviously deadlines that we have to meet when it requires our music and the videos and things like that. But he's been great to work with, and he doesn't, come in and step on our toes, so to speak, and tell us
Yeah.
that, hey, you're going to release this song, and this song off the album, and we don't have any creative input, to that regard. And so that's obviously been, hugely beneficial to us.
And I'm not sure that I would listen.
Yeah, yeah. It's something that we're very pleased in working with him. Obviously, there's a lot bigger labels out there, and he's a very boutique label based here in the United States. So we can't really speak to what his comparison is compared to other record labels. But as far as working with Chris directly at Eclipse, it's definitely been a great experience for us, and no complaints whatsoever.
Good. That's how it should be. Yeah. Yeah. Everyone should be benefiting and nobody feeling left out or missing something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and I talk to him
It
frequently,
should.
on the phone, and we have long conversations. He'll just call me up, and there's times where we talk about just life in general. There's other times that we talk straight business. So it's been really good to have that kind of camaraderie, and working with someone so important, to getting your music out to the world, and having that relationship, that direct one-on-one relationship with Chris has definitely been a very, very positive thing for us and our band and our music.
All right, let's talk about the album Out of the Darkness. What a thrilling start. In the Spirit, in the Shadows. Tell us what, and I always like to ask this question, but I hardly ever get the right answer or the good answer. When you're sitting down, and we could talk about how you write, but when you're sitting down together and you're like, what do we open this thing with? And what is the focus? What is the concept? I mean, metal people don't do concept albums. I'm just kidding. They do. But
It's tossed around, actually.
but no, what is it that you say we got to start this off with? Go ahead, you guys, whoever wants to say.
Well,
I
I
think
think
actually,
go for it, Ryan.
one night at rehearsal, Joey was playing a classical variation of Evermore, the second track, and I said, "We got to do something like that to start this album off." Adam, go compose something.
So I did.
Yep.
And so just like that. Yeah, that was perfect.
Literally.
That was
That's
perfect.
cool.
Just like
Talk
that.
a little bit about
Voila. No, go ahead.
like
Me too.
I won't
I
get
understood.
too deep in the
And we,
weeds
we
about. I'd say I won't get too deep in the weeds about how I tend to write, but I will say with In Spirit and Shadow, and this has happened with a couple other songs, happened with Cascade, was I was actually traveling to Wisconsin to go to Mad with Power Fest. And I was in Chicago spending the night at my buddy TJ's. And I woke up the morning we were going to finish the drive up to Wisconsin. And, I woke up long before my alarm, and this little fragment of a melody popped up. It was the bum ba da 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 da. And I forget exactly how much more of it came, so I'm like, all right, guess I gotta go jot it down. So I rolled out of the floor mattress, whatever it was I was laying on, and I happened to have a piece of staff paper with me, and I scribbled it down, and then put that into Sibelius, which is what I normally use to
very
write.
composer of you.
Yeah. And so I put the melody in, and then the rest of it just kind of happened. Like the orchestration fell into place, the melody repeat, the organ stack at the end. It all just it happened pretty quickly. So, and then Joey had already had Evermore written, and so because I knew how Evermore was going to begin, it was sort of like, all right, that's a pretty easy segue into the song.
It was beautiful. Whenever you talk about Chicago, it takes me back.
Easy but beautiful.
Whenever you talk about Chicago, it takes me back to the Blues Brothers. Were you near the Metro at all?
Oh yeah, I
I
lived in
actually,
Brown
I
one when I lived
actually
there.
stayed in a hotel. It was much better than that place that they were in, but you could hear that metro every morning. It was like, please get me out.
Yeah, I
Adam's is a
lived in
very big
Chicago for a
fan of an
couple of
esteemed
years, and
composer named Wesley Willis.
I love Wesley Willis so much. Anyways, I did live in Chicago for a couple of years,
It's
and I lived about a block
David
away from a
Coben,
train
Wesley
stop,
Willis,
and I can
right
hear
up there
the
on that.
ba ba
Yeah,
every time the
yeah,
doors
yeah,
would
yeah.
open.
It's like in your mind. Yeah, yeah. I remember that. Oh my God. But the pizza, that
Yeah,
made it worth it. No.
good.
Oh yeah, it is.
We played
Absolutely.
Legions of Metal in Chicago last year in 2025, and yeah, we got to experience the pizza firsthand. One of our fans actually brought us a couple up
Oh,
there to the
nice.
venue, and so yeah, it was a surprise, from a local Chicagoian. How do you say that?
Chicagoan.
Chicagoan?
Chicago.
There you go. And
I don't
so
have that Chicago accent. I used to have a Cleveland accent,
Chicago.
but yeah,
yeah,
it's Chicago.
so that was a great experience, and Legions of Metal, obviously, we loved it. Working with Bob there, he's a promoter, and that was really a great experience. And the fans were absolutely fantastic. Such a great time.
All
It
right.
was beautiful.
Do you guys want to talk a little bit more about Evermore?
Betty,
About Evermore, like how it came to be, or just anything.
Yeah, the inspiration. What was it that, like he said, he heard this sound in his mind, and you had to go run and write it down. Same thing, or you. A lot of times, bands, they've been playing with this song for 10, 20 years, and this is the time that it needs to come out. Is it that kind of thing, or was it sudden inspiration?
I think actually a lot of our songs just happen pretty quickly, though I don't compose, so I don't really know the behind the scenes of Evermore's composition. I only know the lyrics, the story behind the lyrics. So if you want composition, that is Joey.
Okay, did you write the lyrics? Is that what you
I,
mean?
I did, yes.
Oh, okay. Well, tell us about that
Um,
if you want.
I guess it's
I don't
kind of
want to
a,
put anyone on the spot, but yeah.
oh, I it's not like a wonderful story. To me, I kind of still feel bad about it. So it's not really even the greatest feeling story.
Yeah.
Um,
has one of
but
the best lines on the album though in that song. Live the
I
life we're dying for.
originally Dave wrote the lyrics for it, and
Part of the lyrics.
yeah, I think like
Dave wrote the lyrics, and then sometime afterwards he sent me a message, and then I pretty much wrote the song and the general melodies to it, and then we kind of were working with the lyrics, and we weren't able to get it really to come out right. And so Betty was like, "All right, I wrote two versions, one to
Yeah.
that modified Dave's lyrics slightly, and then I wrote one that was a totally different set because Dave had written the lyrics prior to me writing the song." And sometimes Dave sends me these vocal memos that have the melody of the song, and it was good. But sometimes in the writing process, it ends up a little bit different than the original thing that was kind of there. And so Betty wrote a new set of lyrics post that situation, that being the final lyrics that we used.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic too. Yeah.
It is good. Very, very good. Okay, the next song, Valkyrie's Fire. I think every band needs a signature song. I don't know why, and a lot of them do, but tell us about that one. Was it kind of, we need a song about ourselves, and it's not really about yourselves, but um,
It was a classic.
it's gotta be fun for you. Well, and tell me if it happens. But do people in the do your fans at the shows come back and sing it and shout that word?
Well, we haven't really played it
That's
live
true.
yet,
Yeah, that's true.
actually. But you know what? I always like I think the name Valkyrie's Fire is really cool, and so I wanted to make a song that had it that let's say like all the elements of our style kind of condensed into one thing where we had big bombastic chorus, sort of like an epic bridge, a heavy verse, a lot of cool riffs and everything. So kind of like a distilled essence of our whole style into one song. And what better of a name to put on it than Valkyrie's Fire in that particular case. And then I guess I came up with the chorus and the Valkyrie's Fire did it, very nicely there.
He wrote
And
all the
actually, it wasn't going to make it on the album initially. We had a song that we were going to use, and not that it didn't end up working out with that other song, but it was kind of like it was working, but it wasn't quite ready to go yet. And so we had this one that we were gonna maybe like try to do like I don't know, maybe some point further on as maybe like a standalone single or maybe on the next album or something. And we just decided to port it over here, and so we kind of put it together pretty quickly. And that's how Valkyrie's Fire made it onto the. But yeah, I don't think a lot of metal bands do that at all nowadays. In fact, I can't think of many others that do that.
Well, it's really easy to mess up because it could also just turn out to fall flat or just be cheesy or a cop out.
Yeah, you got to be careful. Definitely. I think
Yes, yes, it's very true. I had a few themes that I used from the song "The Ride of the Valkyries" in the last album, and I
yeah,
kind of decided that those would be in my mind, let's say like Valkyrie themes.
yeah.
So now in my mind, anytime I write a song that involves Valkyries, I have a certain set of like thematic material, let's say melodically, that I will use as the like lead motif of the Valkyrie theme in our songs.
All right, let's
I
talk
haven't
about.
told anybody else.
Or yeah, does anyone else want to talk about that? Yeah, I don't want to cut
uh,
anyone off.
yeah, I'll just add that
Yeah,
Valkyrie's Fire was also Joey's first attempt at writing lyrics, and it actually turned out really well. So
You.
did a good
we
job.
were very happy about that. And yeah, he that's pretty much his baby, that whole song. And like you said, it kind of made
I
it.
was up late at night scribbling lyrics. My waste bin was full of balled up paper just thrown in there, and I was pulling out my hair. No, actually, it was a pretty smooth process.
Yeah, he when he submitted it over to us, we were all
Real
pleasantly.
lot of forethought, and then putting it down.
Yeah, yeah, we were very pleasantly surprised. It turned out very well. So
All right,
yes, each of our
Cascade.
songs.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay. I was just going to summarize saying, kind of each of our songs, sometimes they're a longer process, sometimes they're, on the back burner for years, and then other ones are kind of instantaneous. Most of our writing, and composition of our songs, as they mentioned previously, does go fairly smoothly and fairly quickly for the most part. And, you know, trying fortunately we write quite a bit of music, so all of us do, and music, lyrics, songs in general, and so trying to choose.
We always end up with the problem of too many.
Right, yeah, trying to choose to put something on an album, it's a difficult thing to do. Obviously this is a massive album at 72 minutes, and you know, the bands, great bands like Nightwish and Avantasia and things like that. They've done these bigger albums. Not something that you typically see nowadays, but it's definitely something that we bounce back and forth, trying to decide honestly what songs are going to go on this album, and how long are we actually going to make this album, in its finality. Turned out really good though. We're very
Oh
proud of
yeah.
it.
Realistically, we had probably another 10 songs that we could have used.
Yeah.
That maybe we're at various states of being fleshed out, but we had more or less demos for them, and you know that could have been there, but we just we were able to really pick the strongest songs out of our catalog to to
And
use
for
for it.
those of you that are curious about what those songs are, I'd be willing to wager that at least one or two of them will probably end up on the next one. So who knows?
It's
I,
very
I
true.
was gonna say you guys are kind of jumping on to the next album, but let's finish this one. But and it sounds like you are working on that, but we'll come back to that. Let's talk about your latest single, which you guys hit. I think it was 50,000 for Cascade, the video.
Mhm.
Fantastic song. How do you guys get together and decide how you're going to do a video, a music video? Because you did a great job, but that has got to be a lot of time. It must take a lot of time. But the setup, what's going to be in that set, obviously all of you are going to be in. That's a performance video. But if you're going to have backgrounds, if you're going to go up to the mountains, go ahead from there. How do you decide on what's going to be in it?
Well, so far the strategy that we've taken is that sometimes it depends on who wrote whichever song is going to get the video. Sometimes it has to do with whoever has the ideas. Um, it ends up being that one or two of us at any given time end up taking charge for the individual video. So for Cascade, it was myself. I helped, get a lot of that together. For Burning Sky, that was largely Dave and I believe Joey plus our management that helped organize all of that. Betty right now is talking with our management to organize our next video, which will be Forevermore. Um, and it was a similar
Thank
deal
you for that.
for the videos on the EP. Um, Specifically for Cascade, it was just a matter of, I had the ideas of, having the white wall, having different colors, going from black and white to color and everything. And from there, it was just sort of, talking back and forth with our management. What resources do we have at our disposal? What budget do we have as individual band members? And for there, it was just a matter of scoping out a studio, which we found in Franklin, Tennessee, which was run by a guy who I was actually in high school with. We happened to be there
Oh,
at the same time. We didn't realize. um, and from there, it's a lot of talking back and forth with our management, making sure, because they have their own team of video editors that actually goes in, takes all the footage. They record everything and then they edit it. And it's a lot of they make a draft, they send it to us, we look over it, we give our comments back to them. So we tell them, and then they make another edit, they send it back to us, and it just goes back and forth like that. And then the deadline happens, so whatever we got is what we got. No, but
and
all jokes aside, it's so far we've been pretty satisfied with all the videos that we've had with them so far.
have you ever thought about
It's
doing?
interesting because I find making the video,
Have you
it's
ever?
almost like you have this idea, and then sometimes it comes, what ends up coming out in the final product depends so much on like what ends up happening on that particular day of the shooting too, and what the room looks like and what. So it's like we have this idea in our head, and it eventually comes out, but it always seems to be slightly different from like what we kind of conceive initially, and then the logistics of the situation, what you can actually find yourself in.
Have you ever thought about doing some local videos? I think I told you my dad was a coach, took us through the Tennessee, University of Tennessee, that whole area. Beautiful area from what I remember. And then going down to Florida, we always went through the mountains, and that's a whole nother thing. Do you guys
Yeah,
know? Do you know if they still have that Civil War thing in the mountains, Chattanooga? They had
I
this.
almost certainly
Yes.
do.
there's
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You would go in there, and they have
yeah.
the whole thing laid out in a battlefield, and loved that when I was a kid. But anyway, have you ever thought about doing something like that? You got the mountains, you've got a lot of things.
Well, our video for Burning Sky, we actually filmed at the Brushy Ridge State Penitentiary. That was the name of it, right? And that was kind of a
Brushy
Okay.
Mountain,
historic
Brushy Mountain.
prison here in the mountains of Tennessee. That was a beautiful location, and
Yeah.
it's hard not to take some advantage of your environment when you're living in a place like Tennessee, where it's like you've got beautiful scenery, beautiful nature all around you.
Yeah.
And then even the video for, or it's a similar deal for Ride of the Valkyrie. We were at the horse farm that Joey's at right
Yep.
now.
Yeah.
And then, but even in an urban setting, the
If you
video
ever
for
see
Nectar of the
horses in our
Gods took
videos, I'll take
place.
credit.
Nectar of the Gods took place at a local Nashville bar, which I don't, unfortunately, I think closed down. I think it's something else nowadays.
Oh,
Um,
really?
yeah, which is kind of unfortunate, even though the sound at that place was not very good. That's another story for another time.
For
Um,
the record, the sound was beautiful.
yes, that's correct. So yeah, there always is some sort of, we record with what we got, and what we got is our surroundings.
Yeah.
So in that case, almost all of our videos are local to one degree or another.
That's true. Yeah. All right. And all right. Do you want to talk about Burning Sky and Michael Sullen from Amaranth? I hope I said that
Yeah,
right.
yeah, Michael Salin, yeah, from Amaranth. Yeah. It's that was a unique thing that kind of came
Putting
together.
that together. Yeah.
Amaranth is one of my favorite bands, and Betty's as well. And so I honestly was looking for someone to do the mastering on our album. And we worked with Jack from Seven Spires last time, and looking at just exploring all of our options this time as well too. And I spoke with Michael, and he wanted to do our album. He was really excited about it. He loved the demos and everything that we were doing. And so we spoke with them about doing that, and came to an arrangement on that. And during the conversations that Michael and I were having pretty frequently, I said, hey, we're looking at possibly adding some harsh vocals on a couple of our tracks here, and Burning Sky is one of them. Another one's a song that we didn't add to this album, and so anyways, he said yes, he agreed, he wanted to do it, and so we ended up doing that. And of course he wanted to film or be in the music video as well too, so he did the filming for his part in Sweden. And when he was back home, they had a massive European tour during the time of the recording for the album and also the mastering of the album. And then they were also in South America. So during certain stops that he would be at home, as well as while he was on the road, he would be working on our album. And so it was logistically, it was a lot of coordination and a lot of work for him on his part, being able to play multiple shows, for months on end, every single night or every other night, and also working on our stuff. And but he was 100% on board with it and was very excited about it. And it was great working with Michael
No,
and
you did a fantastic job.
yeah, and his manager Jake.
Unsurprisingly.
Yeah, yeah, and his manager Jake, who also was the original male clean vocalist for Amaranth and the founder of Amaranth. He's been working with us too lately, and more to come on that in the very near future. But it's really been a pleasure to see bands from around the world and people that we work with that support the ideas of what we're doing and love our music and want to see us succeed. And so working with Michael, as I mentioned, was really a pleasure for us. Nice, surprising pleasure.
All right. I notice a lot of people are getting fidgety. So rather than go through every single song, let's just talk about I think you guys are having you're going to make a music video for Labyrinth. Do you want to talk a little bit? No,
We don't have
It's
plans on that
Evermore.
one.
just Evermore then.
Mhm.
Is that going to be the last one for this album?
Let's
Theoretically, yes, but one never
We've
knows
had
You
with
never
ideas
say
for
music.
never,
others, but
right?
we'll see if
But
we can make them happen or not.
Yeah, to
I
coordinate
feel
with
like every time I write a song, I always think as I'm writing it, like what it would
what would the
visually
video
like
be
look
like?
like. Even, I don't really deal with the lyrics much, but I try to think of like, what is, music kind of creates like the background of the film of your mind, so to speak. So I always try to imagine like what it would look like if it was actually being played as, some sort of visual element. And So I think almost every song could work to make a great music video out of, but it ends up being like an issue of, you know,
He must have been an
music
MT.
making music videos is a very resource intensive process.
He must have been an MTV watcher like me. Yeah, I do the same thing. It's like, what would this be like, if it was back in the 80s? All right, let's do this. I'll just sort of leave it open to you guys if you want to talk about a certain song that we haven't yet. Um, Go ahead, and if you guys are happy, we will let people listen to the album and they can figure it out for themselves. Or what do you want to do?
Well, why don't we just go song by song and each of us give a little blurb of it?
Okay, I know I was going to keep going, but
That's
I
good.
noticed it's already been about an hour, and I don't know
Oh,
what.
out of everything, we love talking about the songs the most, maybe.
Oh
Okay,
yeah. I
all
mean, that's
right.
why we do this.
Well, okay, all right.
I mean, why we
How
make
about
music anyway.
how about Shattered? It just seems like everyone's kind of moving around, and it's like,
No, I'm grabbing my charger right now because my laptop's
I,
okay,
dying.
I had to plug in my phone too.
all right. Shattered. It's not the Rolling Stone song.
Yeah, that's
I guess that Shattered was born from a personal experience that my family went through, and it was a very hard time. Um, we handed some thoughts over to Betty and Adam to say, hey, maybe this is something that other people could relate to. Can you help us turn this into a song? And Betty actually came back with some lyrics pretty quickly. And then this is a bit of a routine with Betty, but she sends an a cappella recording. And as Joey did with Empty, I actually felt inspired by her a cappella recording for Shattered, and I wrote the music for that song pretty much in like 2 days. You know, everything except for the guitar parts, and Joey added orchestration and stuff later. All the instruments here, the piano, the strings, drums, bass, melodies. I had a lot of inspiration, so uh, yeah, Shattered was born.
All right. I see the angels fly. And if anyone, stop me if you wanted to talk about Shatter,
Yeah.
but how about I see the angels fly?
yeah.
So this one, I think Dave had wrote some preliminary lyrics for it.
Yeah. That was something that Joey and I kind of coordinated on in writing that song. The final version that you're hearing on the album, obviously, is I think very different from what Joey and I started working on. When was it, like 2 years ago, maybe?
Yeah,
Something like
I think the chorus that we wrote there intact is pretty much what was written when we started, and then I think Betty and Adam did a lot of work on the verses of that,
right.
and kind of like the various sort of like interludes throughout there, like I was gonna say the bridge, but there was like five bridges.
Yeah, yeah,
Which one?
absolutely.
Funnily enough, I wrote that song. I woke up in the middle of the night when I was very sick and I had like a rather bad fever, and so I actually wrote the song from like the hours of like 1 to like 5 in the morning
Yes, that
Oh,
actually was 2 years ago.
while sick with the fever.
Yeah, it was actually this summer 2 years ago
oh,
because we had a couple shows there back to back that Joey and Ryan were like deathly ill, and we ended up playing them, and that was in the summer of 24. And so, yeah, that's about the time that I See the Angels Fly was starting to come to composition, and it's
I
something
was
that we,
actually going through my computer and found a
yeah, that's
I found I found a funny preliminary version of the piano part that I wrote that sounded very funny.
It was definitely a song that we wanted to have as a big epic power ballad type
that's good.
style song. Both Joey and I obviously are very inspired by 80s and 90s style rock and metal,
Yeah.
more traditional metal, if you will. And so that was where we had a lot of inspiration from on that particular song. Um, the obviously the vocals and the lyrics and stuff, we all kind of bounced around a lot of different things. Adam and Betty ended up coming up with and doing the pretty much the final version of all of those lyrics, and really making that song just absolutely the most incredible thing. And
Yeah,
honest,
before they were singing on it, Dave was like, "I don't like this song. This
yes,
song
that's
kind
very
of
true.
sucks. It's too
Yeah,
slow. You can
very,
take it
very
off."
true. Yeah.
And then we got
Yeah,
all
it's
the singing
freaking
on there, and
symphonic
Dave's
metal.
like, "Oh, this is the best song.
On the album.
Everything's so great. Blah 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 blah."
Lyrics
Yeah.
help. Yeah.
Yeah,
Singing.
it's kind of funny how those things happen during the
Definitely.
process. You're kind of like, well, I don't know. I don't know how well this is going to turn out. And then when you kind of put all the pieces together, it turns out to be just this absolutely magnificent, piece of music. And as
Yep.
much do all of the songs on our album, have turned out that way. So something
Pretty
Yeah,
much all of them we
sometimes.
have like an instrumental demo first off, and then that demo lives with us for like could be a year before
you're,
there's any
yeah,
vocals on it.
yeah,
It's,
So we get used to hearing like these big gaps in the verse and the chorus. A lot of our songs exist with kind of like a electric guitar melody in the chorus before there's actual singing.
in some songs, you don't want any words, and then others, they come to life. So yeah, that's probably what you had there. Yep.
yeah.
Exactly.
All right. Skylark. Who wants to talk about Skylark?
I'll take this one. Similar to Cascade and to In Spirit and Shadow, that was one that um, it started with a fragment of a melody early one morning when um, yeah, I know Joey's mentioned lack of sleep. I definitely deal with some sleep issues myself. Woke up at like 4 or 5 in the morning with a melodic fragment, and I think that one was just the in the chorus, the high up above flies that wing, it's bright, and that was it. And then over time, it just sort of from that point it grew this way. Like it kind of went out. It wasn't like I started from the beginning and wrote this way. Um, and that was one. It was probably of the songs that we. I mean, I wrote the song probably late 2023, so not long after we'd started rehearsing, and that might have been the most challenging one that we took on during that time. And it was sort of you might say a minor miracle that we were able to do it at our first ever proper gig, but we did it. Um, and it was a proud moment for me, especially because, not to get too deep into my own life story or to my own horn, since graduating from college in 2017, I obviously have written a lot of music. I've been working on a metal opera for years, but having Skylark and
Want to
Nectar
hear
of the
that?
Gods performed, huh?
I definitely want to hear that.
Yeah, well, in due
The
time.
metal, yeah.
Yeah.
And please put pipe organs. I don't know
There's a
why nobody
possibility of
likes
that
them.
actually.
I don't know why nobody likes them anymore, but absolutely. I mean, it used to be, Ozzy and all those guys used to do it all the time.
Oh
And
yeah.
now it's like nobody does it. And it's like, I miss it.
Yeah. But for me, it was
All
sort of
right.
like the between graduating from college and that first proper gig when we played both Skylark and Nectar. That to me was just so gratifying. Finally having someone that I had written with my own hands, from my own brain, that I had received from the muse, however you want to view it, finally get put on a stage in front of a crowd in public.
Yeah.
So yeah, Skylark will always have kind of a special place in my heart for for that reason.
Good reason.
It's
All
a
right.
beautiful song.
Thank you.
It is. Yeah.
And it's based off the poem by Percy Shelley, To a Skylark.
Oh, thank you. That we always want to hear the inspiration for it. Definitely.
Yeah.
All right. And then Labyrinth, I don't know why I wrote down we'll have a video. I guess maybe originally it was going to, but is there any reason you decided not to, or could it someday maybe have a video? And besides that, talk about the song.
It's interesting. I think that maybe writing it, think it as much of being like a, but oddly enough, a lot of people that have heard it have come back saying that it's one of their. The song is written in a rather odd time signature,
Yeah.
which kind of is. That's actually the whole inspiration for the song.
Yep.
I was literally sitting there like, you know what? I should just write a song in 7/8 for the band, and that's how it pretty much came to be. And then I feel like Adam then wrote the lyrics. I also, as I was writing it, I was like, you know what? I bet you Ryan is gonna love this song. And so I had that in mind a little bit as I was writing it, because Ryan's my prog buddy in the band, and then I believe, I don't know if I talked to Adam and Betty, or maybe, but Adam liked the idea of like the labyrinth theme, and it goes nicely with the 7/8 because it gives it this sort of like semi uneasy feel. When you have that measure of 7/8, it's like you're getting to the end of measure, but you're always kind of getting to the next start of the rhythm before you feel like the rhythm before it has fully completed. So you feel like you're always getting like lost in this sort of cyclic rhythm of the
He likes
of the
he
piece.
likes that 7/8 from Phil Collins and Supper's Ready, right?
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
Ryan,
And,
Ryan,
I
do you
don't
know what
even
I'm
think it
talking
feels that
about?
odd when
Oh
you.
yeah.
I don't
I
actually.
must my prog listening is more focused on the prog metal of later years than the prog rock of the 70s. I've delved into it a little bit, but I miss the heavy guitars that the prog metal brings.
Well,
And then Adam wrote a beautiful set of lyrics to it and a
my
beautiful melody, really.
my favorite song of all time is Supper's Ready, and if you haven't heard it,
Good
just give it a
choice.
listen. But you need
All
time to.
right, I'm gonna check that out.
It's like 28 minutes. It's not something you can, and it just listen to the whole journey. It is. It's just amazing. Yeah, and
Nice.
he's sitting for dinner with his wife, and then the apocalypse happens right in front of it. It's just unbelievable. I don't know where Peter was when he figured that out, but
There,
it's just amazing. Would you agree with me, Ryan? You don't have to agree it's your favorite song, but it's got to be.
Actually, I don't
tell me it's your favorite.
No, no,
I'm not familiar. Actually, you said it's Phil Collins,
no, no. Peter Gabriel wrote it, but
Peter
Supper's
Gabriel.
Ready.
Oh,
Yeah.
Supper's Ready from Genesis.
So
It's
I've
the
never
old.
heard it. Yeah,
I grew up hearing
You've
Genesis in my
never
Original
house.
heard
song and
of
then
So
call it
Supper's
Peppers.
Ready. Oh my
no, I
God.
never have.
I say
Well,
I
you
grew up
you
hearing.
got to hear Phil Collins' drums towards the end, towards the apocalypse at the end. Yeah. In
I'm
fact, just
familiar with.
listen, just put in Google. I think it's Apocalypse 7/8. I think that might be the name of it, or 9 something. Anyway, look that up. Just put that on, and unbelievable. I mean, that's Danny Carey stuff. That's it's really good. It's incredible.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
Like 18+ minute songs.
You guys took me there. It's your fault. All I need is just a little bit, and but no. Okay, go back to Labyrinth. I'm sorry about that. Anyone else want to talk about
Yeah,
Labyrinth? Oh, okay.
Oh,
Joey,
Joey,
we
your
keep
audio
losing
is.
you. You come in and out.
yeah.
We just see your frozen smile.
He's
Joey's
frozen.
signal is
And
I see your guys' frozen smiles.
I almost said that when he was talking about favorite albums. I said, "Do you like Frozen?" No, but I didn't. I didn't. I didn't have
Joey's,
the heart.
You
that's a
you let it
joke.
go.
That's a
Here
joke
it
that
is
Ryan
back
had.
again.
Yeah,
No, but did you want to say anything more about Labyrinth? Or
it is a good song. It's something that when you were talking, I think Joey's signal is very delayed out there where he's at in the country. He's missing a lot of what we're saying. But the going back to what you were talking about it possibly being a music video. certainly, with the record label, they generally have a certain number of music videos and when they want them released and that sort of thing, as far as a structure goes, I should say, to that release schedule. But before the album actually comes out or in coordination with the album being released. And so Evermore is going to be the last one at this point that's in coordination with the album being released. Now, as far as us doing something in the future for another song or two, that is something that internally we have discussed as a band. I have spoken with Chris at Eclipse as well about it. So it could definitely be something that, we may make happen and come to fruition. We always obviously have options for lyric videos and, that sort of thing as well, too. So, we have been looking at exploring the possibilities of doing some more videos, uh, whatever rendition or layout that they happen to be, or structure, I guess I should say, for other songs on this album. But at this point, yeah, we don't have something finalized just yet, but we're still working on that. Obviously, that is a topic of discussion.
All right. Bone and Thorn.
Bone and Thorn is another special one for me. It was actually the very
Ryan, we
first
got
song
you
I wrote.
twice.
Huh?
We
Oh,
got two
right.
Ryans.
Yeah.
Well, now you've got the right amount.
There you go.
So it
All
was
right.
actually the very first song that I wrote for Valkyrie's Fire. Um,
Wow.
and it is based on a graphic novel by fellow Ohioan Jeff Smith called Bone.
Oh, cool.
And the song is centered around you. It might technically be considered the B plot, but it's not quite. Anyways, the two central characters are a human girl named Thorn and a little bone creature named Phone Bone. So
Right.
the song is actually kind of a retelling of the relationship between those two characters throughout this massive 9-part novel.
Cool.
Um, it's pretty abridged. You can't really fully tell the whole story in even just a 7.5 minute song. Um, but for my money, the story between Phone Bone and Thorn is the single greatest love story in all of American literature.
Wow.
And even long before Valkyrie's Fire got started, I always had it in my mind like I have to write a song about these two. I have to do it. I don't know when, I don't know
And
how.
you did.
So I did.
Yeah, I remember he briefly discussed it with me the very first time we met. He was talking about his metal opera and ideas for songs that he had as well too, and didn't really dive too much into it, but it was a very early topic of discussion. And I'm actually glad that song's on the album. It's really a very beautiful song, and the way that the final version of Bone and Thorn came out is definitely something that I deeply admire. It's definitely one of my favorite songs on the album.
It's a good one. They're all
Yeah.
good. You guys don't make a bad album. Keep that going. All right. Dark Moon. Or did anyone else want to talk about Bone and Thorn? I'm sorry. I don't want to cut anyone off, but okay. Dark Moon.
Only Salem were here because that's one
All
thing.
right. Yeah, I know Salem's not here, so I guess I'll talk about it a little bit since I kind of she had written this sort of like dark pop style song that was there, and it was maybe like 2.5 minutes long. It was kind of it was pretty much finished, but it wasn't really like a metal song. And then so I wrote it into a metal song, and at the same time I tried to create this sort of like little bit of like a cello concerto at the same time. So you'll see that song has like some pretty
Yeah.
Sam is an excellent cello player, and we kind of recruited her as keyboardist, but then I mean at least I found out a little bit later on that she is almost more of a fan of playing the cello than and she's got a beautiful vibrato. Her playing is very expressive, and it's really great to listen to, and and that's kind of how it came to be. I know that there's probably much more things that Salem could add about the lyrical content and everything, but there's also a very nice hidden Bach quotation in that one, actually. If you're
Oh,
familiar with the the prelude in G
Yeah.
of the first cello suite. It's actually hidden in there towards the end of the song, but in a minor key.
It's something sounded familiar, but yeah, I don't know all the Bach. I'm not gonna say I'm a Bach. I like Bach,
No,
but
no one's perfect. It's okay.
no,
Good
and
old, good
I'm
old
I'm
German
half German,
sequence.
so I mean, yeah, you I grew up with Bach, but
It's
but
a
yeah, yeah,
I think that
a
song
staple
probably
of
has
Yo-Yo Ma.
yeah, sounds like it.
probably got the most intense drum parts I think on the album. Probably
It,
between this song and Valkyrie's Fire, but there's a lot of drums in Dark Moon. Woo.
yeah, there are. There's
Wait,
this one section towards the middle of Dark Moon in particular where Betty's doing, Adam has this sort of like upbeat vocal part. Betty does this big, and then it joins in with Betty doing this big chorus, and Ryan is doing this very bombastic drum fill, while meanwhile Salem is moving to this very high spot on the cello. And that one particular spot, I think, is actually one of the best spots on the album right there, because it's such an intense feeling as you go through there, and the harmonies throughout it are so rich, and it's really a beautiful spot.
I just wish I could see Ryan listen to Suppers Ready, especially that drum ending that Collins does. I mean, his and you got to listen to it on headphones. Although it's good, he's did it live. He did it a couple of different versions, but um, just put those headphones on and listen to that drum section, and it just you want to do that. You're going to want to do. I want to do it. I don't even play an instrument, and I want to do it. It
Gonna-
is. It
They're
is.
going to get inspired, and all of a sudden, we're going to have a 120-minute album for the next album because we'll have a 28 song.
Is there anyone else here that's heard
Yes.
that or know what I'm talking about? Oh, all
I
right.
grew up hearing Genesis in the house, and
Okay.
my dad is one of their biggest fans. He loves both Phil Collins and Peter Gabriel. In fact, he gets really mad if you ask him which of the two he prefers.
I
But
don't.
he's taken me to see Steve Hackett perform live. We've seen Genesis tribute bands together, so I'm familiar.
So you know the drumming I'm talking about towards the
Yeah,
end of that song. Yeah. And your dad's favorite song Suppers Already? It's got
I
to be up
think that's a good question. I know he really likes Watcher of the Skies.
there. That's the same album, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, but he obviously he loves Tupper's Ready as well.
It's 28, it's a whole side of an album.
Yeah.
And like just the lyrics are enough. It's the precursor to Lamb Lies Down, kind of that unbelievable bizarre. It's not bizarre like that. I mean, that is absolutely wild. You need a PhD to really pull all that together. But anyway, all right, enough about that. But just yeah, give that a listen, and I'm telling you, I would just love to see what he does. He's probably going to go, oh my god, I got to do this on my next album. All right, Nocturne. Who wants?
Well,
Right,
this one,
right. I think that's you.
I guess so. Yes, Joey wrote some wrote the music first to this one. Uh, I don't know. It felt like sunset musically. I just
Yeah,
felt like sunset. So I started to think of what happens at sunset, and ended up being inspired by the old Gargoyles cartoon off of Disney Saturday mornings.
oh,
So that was the original inspiration for the song. So I went with got we got that we got Dracula lore in there. I actually, with the assistance of Joey and Adam, I actually wrote a Latin choir. So in the background of the chorus in Nocturne, that is actually Adam, Betty, and myself singing that choir part in the background of the choruses, real choir. So that was a lot of fun to do. And I wrote the vocal
came out really
melodies.
nice.
They just take it and they make it their own, and everything that was done with that song was so fun, so good.
That was a really fun one to put together.
Yep.
And then the closer, and what a closer it is, almost 10 minutes. Yeah, it is the longest song on the album. I Will Rise Again. And you've got to do that at the end of an album. Come back for the next one because I Will Rise Again. And
That's what
Exactly. Yeah,
Joey
that's the
said.
first song we wrote as a
Yeah.
band. That's the
It is one
first
of the
Valkyrie
earliest
Spire
ones, I
song,
think.
believe it or not.
wow.
Yeah, and Joey said exactly the same thing about putting that song at the end of the album. It kind of entices you to come back. It's very epic and monumental, and it's very different from the original layout or structure, or whatever that we had for it being the very first song, as Joey mentioned. But yeah, definitely a great song.
And it's funny too. You
They
mentioned it
say
being a
It
closer.
it's
is.
like the intro is 2 minutes and 40 seconds, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You mentioned it being a
intro.
closer. One of the interesting things is, behind the scenes when we got all these songs and we're trying to decide what order everything needs to go in. We all kind of eventually settled into Evermore being sort of the opening number plus some sort of instrumental opening track. But that was like the one thing that you were all kind of more or less unanimous on. Like, all right, I'll Rise Again is going to be the closer. And for a time,
Yep.
that was the one thing we could all agree on. And it took us a bit longer to sort of sort through the rest of the order.
It took us a lot longer to agree on the contents of the song, but we did agree that it should be the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Title is fitting for it as well too,
Yeah.
obviously, because um, this album is very full of emotions and very full of different descriptive journeys, honestly, in each and every song throughout the album. And so, through that, you deal with everything from, trying to stay positive to dealing with heartbreak to, you know, you know, seeing the angels fly and just all these other things that are concocted and you visualize in your head, and at the very end of it all, no matter what it is that you've gone through in your life and the experiences that have happened, good or bad, ultimately at some point you're going to find yourself at a certain level where you feel like you've got to pick yourself back up, from whatever it is that you've gone through.
Yep.
And no matter how demanding of your time and your soul and your emotions that journey was, you pick yourself up and, to the point of, believing that you will rise again, and that's essentially, the message that we're kind of leaving there. And Betty came up with the title for the album, Out of Darkness, and we tossed around some different titles. Great title for
Yeah.
this album because honestly it's very descriptive, based on all the songs that we have worked on the album, and the story that they create, and essentially a lot of those emotions and things that you're going through. um, you know you you're in darkness in some of those points in your
Yeah.
life, and so this album is very descriptive of coming out of that darkness, and then leaving you with how you will rise again, at the end of it. And so leaves it on a very positive note, we felt like as well too.
Okay.
Positive, but not saccharine.
Right.
All right. So you already, as you mentioned, you're already working on the next one. And what, how far along? Do you have a concept for it? Is it next year or 28? Uh, all those questions. And
I think we
I
still
don't
have some
think we've
time to
gotten
go.
that far.
I'm
We,
sorry.
It
yeah,
won't
we
be.
have some songs. We have some songs written. We have some riffs. We've got some. I'd say we probably got more music than lyrics.
Okay, Joey and I have
Um,
already started doing some writing, but beyond that, we haven't really planned much.
Me and Adam always have competition.
I
I don't
would
know if I call
definitely
it
say,
competition, it's collaboration.
yeah, I would definitely say one thing is for sure.
Collaboration.
it won't be coming out in October of 2026. So that much we can say for
Yeah.
sure.
But yeah, you're probably talking about 28, fall of 28, or still.
Probably. I mean, if we're keeping on track with the same pattern that we had between our EP and then this first full length album, that's distinctly a possibility. To put that in a rough timeline, but
And
again,
yeah,
we're
I'm not trying to rush you either. I don't want to
oh
be,
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, we're
because
just so
this
far out.
one is enjoy
Been
this
sitting
one.
there 2 years from now. Mark
Although
wants
it is
done.
okay to be curious.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
yeah.
Joe. I didn't mean to talk over you.
No, it's all right. I mean, this type of music, it's very dense music, and there's
Takes
a
time.
lot of lines that are going on. There's a lot of counterpoint, a lot of rhythm, a lot of singing between two people that have to figure out the parts and have to get together with each other, make sure they're already good. So it's like it takes us a long time to make the music happen, and then for myself doing the production, it takes me a long time to then take everybody's parts that they give me and and put it all together into the
But
to create the final product.
you think you're probably gonna wait and do a full album or another EP first? Because that was kind of nice. It kind of wet your whistle and got everyone interested, and then boom, this one comes and
I'd say ideally probably a full length if we're going to go through all the trouble to get a whole release together. Although we have played with the idea of doing like a Christmas EP,
yeah, I was
since we
gonna
do
say
have
that.
some Christmas
oh,
arrangements of things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Um, but
that's
that would
not a
kind of
bad
be its
idea
own thing,
either.
most
Yeah,
likely.
people love that. I mean,
Yeah.
fans love that.
Or even maybe maybe even like a video of one of the songs that we didn't get to do in like the first round of video creation for this album or something like that.
Pearl Jam used to do that
Release
for a
another
while.
song as a
I don't know if they still do it, but I think they have like a Christmas package that everyone that's on I don't know
yeah, yeah.
Bandcamp
There
or
was
whatever.
yeah, there. I remember a while back, Twisted Sister did a Christmas album, and there's not too many metal bands that do Christmas albums or EPs or anything like that. And you know, particularly in this day and age, so um, as Adam mentioned, it's something we've tossed around because it would be kind of cool, kind of different, so something that you really just don't see, in this day and age. And
our
what better?
first ever show is playing Christmas songs.
Yes,
Oh,
yeah.
True. Our very first public performance.
Our
It's
first
really cool.
public performance
wow.
as a band, yeah.
Joe
Or
did a
a
really good
song.
arrangement. Joey
Yeah,
did a
and
really
it's
nice
on
arrangement of Deck the Halls.
yeah, it's on our YouTube channel if you guys want to see that live performance, by the way. But yeah, it's definitely something that we have a lot of fun with and doing it in symphonic power metal style. Obviously, it's very epic and grandiose, and powerful and emotional, and it would be a lot of fun. So yeah, it's definitely
You
something
know
we
what? They wanted us to do a cover of this other band's cover of a Christmas song. And I forget what the band was. I won't say necessarily who it was, but it kind of sucked.
It's
That's
true. I do remember the
They
band, and it
sent
was
it to
not
me,
their
and I
best
was
work.
like, "Do you really have to play this?" Yeah. And so I was like, "Well, you know what? I will just make my own arrangement."
I got to ask Betty a question because she hasn't talked for a while. What did you think of Tarja's Christmas album, or did you hear
I like her Christmas stuff. I
it?
like
Like
that it's just kind of dark and ambient. But I mean, I kind of like that type of music as well. I don't just like metal. I like Celtic. I like musical theater. I like kind of a nice dark goth ambience. So I like her Dark Christmas album. I think it's fantastic. I also just like hearing her voice to Christmas music. It's just very soothing.
there you go. Anyone else listen to that or?
yes, I
I've
listened
been
to some of
Tobin.
it, and I do like Tarya's voice. She's extremely emotional and passionate in her delivery, and that's something that I've greatly appreciated from all of her stuff, from Nightwish all the way to her solo stuff and her Christmas albums, and just all of it is very absolutely fantastic in my personal opinion. She's one of my favorite female vocalists, and uh, definitely love it.
For me, Colors in the Dark. Oh my God, I'm telling you. Compared to the new one's good, but it doesn't even touch Colors in the Dark. It was just, I mean, yeah. Anyway, but
Fantastic.
at sea, just there's another one for you guys if you guys want to hear something that is, it's not supper's ready, but it's pretty damn good. Um, check that out. Just listen to the whole thing and watch the video. The video is good too, but nobody's making those anymore. And whenever somebody does, I absolutely celebrate it. Hers is about, do you remember, Betty? I have it in back of me, but I think it was like 10 or 12 minutes long, but it's a beauty.
Yeah,
At sea.
I think it was about 10. I'm not
Yeah.
sure. I just know it was long, but it doesn't feel that long when I listen
No,
to it.
yeah,
So I
no, you're
forget.
right.
I forget that it's long.
Yeah. All right.
I've got to
Joey's
drop off
leaving.
the call, but thank you for the interview, and
Well, thank you for
hopefully I get a
joining
chance
us
to.
and say hi to all the horses.
I was about to say hi to the
uh,
horses.
I had to do
You know
that.
what?
Go trim some
Somebody
of their
commented
hooves.
on our video for the Ride of the Valkyrie that said that we were abusing the animals. Yet they live in this beautiful pasture over here, and they're
Not
living
abusing.
quite a cozy life. So for that person, if they watch this,
There you
I refrain from putting a more choice comment on your post.
go.
But anyway,
Well, hey, thank you.
goodbye.
All right.
See you later, Joey.
Anything else? So basically, we're almost done anyway. The last question is always, is there anything I forgot to talk about or anything that you guys absolutely wanted to talk about, something hot, something new, something that you want to, and remember, it's not just me. Hopefully, there's other fans out here listening. And if you have anything to say to them, go ahead.
Um, I I kind of wanted to touch on the album artwork as well too, and I'd like
Oh,
Betty to
yeah.
expand on this some more because that's kind of her baby as well too. But I will just say it's by Jan Jurlin. He's out of the Netherlands. He's a Dutch graphic artist, and he's done a lot of different albums, Delane and
Oh, wow.
Pro and all massive amounts of artists. And
Did
but
he do Epinikian? No, I'm kidding.
no, he didn't.
They're
He
also from Netherlands. Just kidding.
that would be that would be pretty cool. But yeah, he's done a lot of work. His business is called Dark Grove Design,
Okay.
and if you go on his website, you can see all the album titles that he's created. They're absolutely fantastic. But anyways, I'll let Betty talk some more about kind of the concept and the idea behind that, so that way our fans have an idea about that as well.
Didn't really, I don't think it's my baby. I don't think I came up with the concept at all, but
Well, how the final product turned out, I guess I should say.
it was a little rocky slope, but I won't go in there. But we'll just say the album art's beautiful. I think it really does encompass, well, a bit of what I had envisioned of Out of Darkness, because it shows a man coming out of what appears to be like a dark cavern out into like a winding path that's going into the light. So I love that he made the path, didn't tell him to do that, but I love that he made the path winding. I don't like it,
Like a
just
labyrinth.
it shows that when you do come out of that dark space, you still got a ways to go, and it's an up and down journey, but
Hmm.
there's the light right there. You can see it at least. And so you know that something good is coming for you, at least. Yeah. So I love what he did. I don't know if he meant it to be that deep, but it looks deep to me.
Good.
They're
Oh, yeah.
deep. So yeah, I think it's beautiful. He did a fantastic job. Very nice guy too.
Anyone else with any other things you'd like to add or?
Yeah, one
Or
thing that
maybe
I was
subtract. I hope you don't subtract, but no, go ahead.
one thing that I just now remembered. We probably should have emphasized this a bit more while we were talking about all the songs and all the songwriting. Um, yeah, I know we made a lot of ado about like, oh, this song is one that Joey wrote. This one is one that I wrote. This is one that Betty wrote, and all this stuff. One thing we haven't mentioned about all the songs yet is that all six of us really had at least some piece to contribute to every song. Whether that's Betty and I going in and tweaking a syllable here and there, or a word or two here and there, or it's Joey and Dave, fixing or you know tweaking certain guitar or bass parts to sort of fit their idiomatic needs,
Also
whatever
some
the case.
structural
Ryan
work.
adding his own spice to the drum fill, Salem doing different inversions of chords and everything. Every song has all of our handprints in them and our
Yeah,
fingerprints and everything. And I think that's part of the beauty of Valkyrie's Fire is that it's not just one person doing it all. All of us
you
play a
need
part.
everybody. It's a team.
Yeah, there
And
was
that is the one thing I think that bands all need to succeed is teamwork. No individual can do everything.
yeah, and that was one thing that, in finding the band, I had spoken to all of them about at length, was that, oftentimes you'll see in various bands, there's one person that does everything and it for various reasons, whatever those reasons may be. But essentially, they're the lyricist or they're just the songwriter or they handle everything all together and they write all the music and nobody else does. One of the things that we take a lot of pride in, as I mentioned, is, our fingerprints being on kind of everything. It's a group project, but it's also something that when we get on stage and perform it, we all are equally proud of, what we have created together, because it's difficult to, at times take the personalities and souls and emotions of six different people
Yeah,
and experiences that they've gone through in their life and make it turn into such a beautiful thing. And that can often be, complex and daunting. And, if you try to have one person, essentially give their viewpoint on how they interpret everybody else's experiences, it's not always going to be accurate, and so it's essential to have the input of all six band members to make something really truly beautiful and to make an album that actually stands out from the rest and is dynamic and powerful. And that's something too that I'll also add to that is that most recently Madeline from the band Eileen out of Sweden. She mentioned that, and actually, is a reason that she wants to tour with us, and that she wants her band to go on tour with us, and not just be an opening band, but to actually be full tour support for an upcoming tour in the United States. And that's something
fantastic.
she mentioned to all of her Twitch streamers, which we have that footage on our social media as well. And that's something that we're very proud of, because
Yeah,
other bands and musicians and fans and people in general are taking notice of the fact that, hey, you know, you can be in a band and work together. You can set aside egos and work together. You can create something absolutely beautiful, and it will stand out, when you do that, and it becomes really, truly a beautiful thing. And it's not always the easiest process, obviously, because you have six different individuals and six different mindsets and six different interpretations of any given thing at any given moment. So it's a delicate balance, that we all have to maneuver around, I guess you would say. But it also is something that's very rewarding at the end of it all. And it's something where we can stand back and say, you know what, we all created this together, and that's something that we're all very, very proud of. And it's definitely something that I'm very, very proud of because it's not easy to bring together musicians in this day and age, let alone try to get everybody on that same page to see that, hey, we all do need to work together and we can create something beautiful, and everyone be willing to do that and to put in their contribution to make that happen. So what we have, while people like yourself interview us and proclaim how wonderful our music is. It can't be that wonderful, honestly, without those first steps happening. So it's something that we're very proud of, that the journey that we're on, and it's only going to get better from here and bigger from here as well for us. And that's something I firmly believe because of who we are as individual musicians and the willingness that we have to work together.
Do whatever you can to avoid the Pink Floyd syndrome, if
Right.
everyone knows what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
A wonderful band, some of the greatest music ever made, and those two guys can't even look at each other anymore, which is really a shame.
Sad. Really
Yeah,
is.
it's very sad.
Yeah.
And they made, you know,
Amazing music.
we'll never forget that music. And yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm
So
glad to hear you guys
lifetime.
are hanging together and you're working together, and that's key. And you like collaboration, which that brings in its own flavor that adds to what you guys are doing. So excellent. Um, what was I going to ask you? I got off on that tangent. Um, it's past me, but thank you very much. Anything anyone else wants to say, maybe that'll spark that. Any other additions or
I just want to say, we appreciate you having us on, Mark. And,
definitely?
I know that sometimes getting an interview lined up with a band can be a daunting process as well, too,
You
and
made it easy. Yeah,
schedules.
thank you.
But, I know this has been a while coming, and we appreciate your time and your support of our band. And honestly, as us as musicians, as well, too. It's great to have that support. And honestly, without that kind of support, um, we're just here making music, and then we're not getting that exposure around the world, honestly, that every band desires. And so it's really nice when people like yourself come forward and say, "Hey, I believe in what you guys are doing, and what you're doing is absolutely phenomenal, and I want to talk about it with you." So we greatly appreciate that. It means a lot.
And I mean that when I say thanks for bringing everyone together. Sometimes I only get one person. Sometimes they promise a whole band and only two people show up or something. And nothing wrong with that. There's still good interviews, but having all of you like this, you could see what it does. It's like I'm going to use a Genesis metaphor. It's like a magic box.
Sure.
Uh, it opens everyone's mind. Everyone's participating. Just like you said, you're all participating. You're all coming in with different things that, I wouldn't have thought of, and maybe Dave individually wouldn't have thought of. But, Adam had something, Betty had something, Ryan had something. It just makes the whole conversation so much better. So thank you for pulling everybody together if you did, or all of you guys that joined in on a Sunday. I mean, think about it. Nobody wants to do work or anything on a Sunday, but thank you very much for you guys coming. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's our pleasure. We appreciate you having us.
All right. One last time. Anything, my wife is always like, don't keep asking, but is there anything else that I don't want to miss anything? That's why I do it. But is there anything else?
Just the final part I was going to say is that we are all over social media, pretty much anywhere that the internet touches. The biggest launching platform to get to any of our social media, YouTube channel, hear our music, download our music, is just go to our website, valkyriesfire.com. From there, we have all the social media links. You can learn about our band. You can buy our merch, which obviously very much helps support us as a band, and we're greatly appreciative of that. But you can buy our merch. You can check out our show schedule, what's coming up, where it's going to be. We have all the show flyers on there, and you click the links, it'll take you to all the good information about that and how to buy those tickets. You can check out our bios on there, learn more about us as a band, read our blog, and where we talk about different things behind the scenes. We have lots of photos, behind the scenes photos, and imagery and stuff like that on there. So it's a wealth of information. But obviously, you can check us out on our website and get to all of our social media platforms as well. So that's hugely important in this day and age to help us gain more exposure. So,
All right. Valkyrie's Fire, Out of Darkness. Don't miss it. Get out there, listen to it. It's coming here middle of September.
September 18th.
Please,
Yep.
please give it a chance. That's all you'll need, and you'll get drawn in. But thank you for the whole band being here, almost the whole band. Thank you very much for being here. You guys take care. Have a wonderful rest of the weekend here. I'm going to pause it and then we'll just say goodbye. But thank you again, guys. And ladies, it was fantastic. All right, hold on just a second.
Thanks.